Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and then a model kit. What? Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply back to me with that. Thank you very much, Harold, for hosting the stream. I appreciate that so much. Folks out there, if you you don't have to have a big following. You can have a very small little following. If you ever want to host the stream, that's always appreciated. Because there may be somebody that knows what you're up to if you stream, and it's just like, oh, what's this that this person that I likes? Huh. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome. As always, happy to have you here. Arisavan is here. Hi, Arisavan. This could be. Is this going to be another chill stream like Thursday was? Maybe. Is that bad because I don't live much life these days? And sometimes when there's not a lot of people in chat, I don't know what to say. It's not bad. It may be that I might have to pull the trigger on an old faithful. Jam is here. Hey, Jam. Welcome. Which is looking for things to talk about by going to like entertainment pages or whatever and finding things to talk about because sometimes they don't come out. Like, am I going to talk about grilling? Sure, I'm going to talk about grilling. Grilling happened on Friday, so we'll talk about that. Will we talk about anime after the pause for the cause in the 10 p.m. hour Eastern time? Yeah, of course we're going to talk about anime. Saturday's a big day for that. I got 4 shows to talk about. Some things happened in some of them. Some things didn't happen in others. Some were just setting up for the next thing. Some are pretty boring and kind of obvious. And I have a fan theory for one show. So maybe we'll talk about that as we get there. But yeah, I also want to talk about my continued adventures to try to watch some stuff from China because there's some cool animation happening there. I see clips of it, but there's only one show that you can watch legally, at least here. So, yeah. Earthfan says, I'm out of town, so even harder to type. Have played a bit of Hearthstone today. How about you? Earthfan, we can talk about that. We'll wait for the actual building to begin, I guess, to talk about that. But I'll talk a little bit. I'm going to be doing a live stream on Wednesday. The problem is of Hearthstone, because that'll be my bonus stream for that week, for next week. My big problem with Hearthstone right now is that I don't like the expansion. I have no cards have really stuck out to me because this expansion feels like it is most about spells. Spell Burst, which is the new effect, is like if you use a spell, then some of these cards will have an interaction. It doesn't have to be a spell. Touch it. Could it be just you used your coin while this was in play? And that's kind of interesting, but not really, because I don't like spell-heavy decks. I like minion-heavy decks. So I'm a little not super thrilled with it. There's a couple cards that seem cool. There's one that you can like pick. It's a paladin card where it's a 1/4 weapon, and it'll tell you like, hey, you either get this card or you get a different card when you're in your draw phase, and that's really interesting and could make some really cool decks. I don't have all of the necessary cards for like a wild duel based deck for Paladin, but that could be something there. And there's some impressive cards I don't have yet for Warrior. I'm thinking there might be a Warrior deck that I can build with some of the new cards that would be interesting, but I haven't gotten them yet. I got Hunter Legendaries. I got both Hunter Legendaries, and so I built a Beast deck. I don't like it. It's not good yet. It's a hand buff Beast deck that is not. It's not ready for prime time. Maybe it will be someday, but right now it's not. All right, so I'm going to retweet. We're going to go to the overhead, and we can get to building because we got to start with a Lego robot, and then we're going to work on a very cool kit. So we got to do Lego, and then once we finish Lego, then we're going to move on to the NT-1 from 0080. But yeah, so if you missed Thursday, we built a futuristic plane, and then we built a spaceship, and now we're building the third because it's a 3-in-1 kit. So now we're building the third thing, which is the robot, because of course I wanted to save the robot for last. And as I mentioned, I think previously, today we will be working on two very different robots, different styles of robot. But yeah, Hearthstone. I'm mostly like just not super thrilled with the cards. I think my favorite is the card that we got before the expansion came out, the preview card. The 2-mana 2/2, depending on the board, it does different things. That's really interesting. Because it literally is the board state matters. And some of them are more powerful than others. And some of them are very powerful and interesting. So like that, I think, is very cool. But Spell Burst, I'm not super engaged with the concept. There's also there's this Druid. Is it a Druid deck? I think it's a Druid. Yeah, it's a Druid deck. That is a wild Druid deck that people are playing. That theoretically you could win on turn 1 if your draws are accurate. It is a spell-only deck where you are tutoring out as best you can. You are tutoring out Barnes, who then will draw the card. I forget the name of it, but that basically it tutors out the card that every third spell you play on your turn is free. So you tutor that out, and then you just run your burst, and then run your draw, and then run your burst, and then run your draw, and you can theoretically do it in turn 1. I have seen people do it on turn 3. Someone tried to beat me with that with my Evolve deck, which has 2 new cards in it, because all the new Shaman cards are about spell burst and damage, and not about Evolve, which is a bummer. So, but yeah, I took them down because they didn't get good card draw. It's a nonsense thing. I do like 1-turn OTKs that you can do in like turn 3 or 4. I do like the idea of that because you have to get very lucky and, be able to pull it off and have fast reflexes. So that's kind of fun. It's Saturday. I went for a walk today because it was in the low 80s, but with the humidity, it was 90 something, 93, 94 degrees. But I'm trying to walk twice a week and then exercise 5 times a week, like bike the other days. And the only exception to that being if I'm doing like some outdoor physical labor, then that's fine, and that'll replace my other exercise. That's the goal right now. So I went for a walk today. It was fine. Caught some Pokemon on my walk. That was nice. Nice to get out there, catch a few Pokemon. Tomorrow I have to. Have to, I guess, isn't the right term. I got volunteered, and I'm okay with it. But I got volunteered to go and move some patio furniture out of an area so they can move new stuff, something or other. I'm helping a neighbor move stuff, and that's fine. My hope is that this neighbor will be okay with me wearing a mask while I do it, and okay with me trying to keep socially distant. It's one of my parents' friends that's in the neighborhood, and I do want to help out. And that'll be my physical activity for tomorrow. Do some power moving, move some furniture around, help out. I was like, okay, yeah. It's like, yeah. Only thing is, hello, welcome, Zero. Only thing about helping out tomorrow is it's at 2 o'clock, and I have a thing I like to watch at 3 p.m. and I hope I get done in time. It's not at the end of the world. I could also be late. It's a long stream that I like to watch. But hey, Harold. It's been a while. Is that a bootleg Lego? No, this is a real Lego. So this is a Lego 3-in-1 kit. It was called the Fantastic Flyer, was the name of it? No, as Bobby says, boot Lego. No, this is a real Lego kit. So this is a 3-in-1. It's called the Futuristic Flyer. The alternate of it was a spaceship and then this robot. This is the third build. So on Thursday we did the first two. 3-in-1s, you build it, you tear it down, you build another thing. Like these parts right here are only in this kit. We didn't use these in any other ones, but you don't use all of the parts in each one, but you use most of the parts. I like the 3-in-1s because they are fairly inexpensive, but you get a lot of building out of them. So they're good for this kind of a stream. And nice for people that like to have like the cheapest thing on my Amazon wish list, right? Yeah. So it's I like it. I like the idea. The 3-in-1 I think is a fun idea. We've done them before. How do you feel about the real life Gundams that Japan is building and testing? Scary or good? So, in my opinion, exoskeletons are the way to go. That is with. I am not a robotics expert. I am not an expert in anything, really. So I don't, but to me, exoskeletons make the most sense. More so than giant robots, which don't make any sense. And particularly, like, not even to mention just like Boston Dynamics just making murder robots and trying to give them personalities. And I'm like, get out of here. We know what this. We saw I Am Legend. Get out of here. I'm not necessarily here for that. I guess the body. This is the body working on. You never know with these. But yeah, I think that's to me, that's the way to go. Is a nice cool exoskeleton. You go, make your reach harder, carry more things. Will it be used for mining? Sure, it will. Will it be used for other things, military applications? Of course it will. But the real thing to me is if you're trying to build a giant robot, a Gundam or otherwise, you're going to have a hard time explaining to me the non-military applications of said product. Whereas at least power armor. Yeah, power armor you could say can be used in excavator armor and stuff like that. Like I can believe that. You can sell me that lie better than we built a Gundam. Huh. Wonder why you built that. I don't know. I also, if people want to build giant robots on their own, I don't know, or statues of Gundams, always psyched about that, I think. That RX Gundam they built needs a lot of power, and our batteries are weak as fuck. Yeah, and that's because the jump is going to be like, what kind of weird reactor are you going to put in that thing to make it work right? Because you're going to need some kind of power that is monstrous and nonsensical to get that thing to do what you want it to do. So what are you going to put in there? And then how are you going to keep that safe and keep people safe? And I feel like there aren't a lot of good answers to those questions. I guess, yeah, we're building the chest here, body of this thing. It's cool. Use that one silvery piece. All right, this thing's starting to come together. I don't think we're going to use all the pieces for here that we have for this kit. Looks like most of them will be part of it. I like it. I like the idea. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's a flyer. That's kind of fun. That's that could be a cool thing to build." And then when I looked closer at it, I was like, "Oh wait, one of them is a robot. Heck yeah, I'm going to build this. One of them's a robot. I'm in." Because we did the undersea one that was also a robot. There's a shark one that I put on my wish list pretty recently that looks just neat. Of course, we'll talk about that at the pause for the cause. We got a ways before we're going to get pausing for causes, y'all. We got plenty of time to talk about other things. I'm finishing up Naruto, and I can't believe the name of Might Guy's final move transformation. Yep. Uh, Guy is a wonderful, weird, nonsense character that I have a soft spot for in my heart for Guy Sensei. Uh, they might make the RX stand in place and move the arm and head only. Yeah, that might be for the best. They might need, because the thing is, like, the hydraulics you're going to need to get these things to work is also going to be a lot of weight, which means you need more power. But your power can't be. It's the age-old problem. Uh, Everything has a weight, and you have to balance that. You have to balance the weight to get things to do when you're trying to make things move. And you can use as many lightweight polymers as you want, but eventually, you know, you're gonna be like, well, this thing is too heavy, so we goofed. Uh, I'm not caught up on Boruto right now. I know they're starting a new thing, but Boruto filler is just awful. So I have been, I have, I have, even though I have so much time these days, I am just not interested in like getting through uh, this arc, this filler arc into the new story. I think I'm gonna have to wait for more to come out. It'll be slow AF because of the size of some parts. Yeah, I mean it's just gonna, hey, we're not gonna make better robots until we start making robots. Is I guess a theory you could like. Is I guess is the thought process like, well, we gotta figure out how to make those things so that we can make more of them and better. You got to start somewhere, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's a reason we went with tanks. Yeah, I mean, also, we got better at making tanks as we made tanks. So, yes, as Bobby says, we should start with the gun tank. And then we'll make the gun tank defenders because people will have gun tanks. I don't disagree that we should start with robot arms and robot torso and robot head on tank treads. That might be a place to start. Uh, that just might work. I don't know. As I said, I am not a robotics expert or an expert in anything. So, about halfway through, that I started to try and figure out who the canonical ships for Boruto might be. So yeah, I mean some of them like at the end of the series there are a few couples that you're like, yeah. And then there's some characters that you saw in the show and you were like, they ended up together? Huh. Okay. And then there are a couple characters where they just don't tell you that there is a mom out there. We don't know who she is. There's a kid in Boruto. We know who his dad is. We don't know who his mom is. And it's weird that we don't know. And people were like, oh, it's probably this character. And you're like, meh. Gun Tank isn't that popular and iconic. Zero, you are not wrong. Gun Tank is certainly not iconic. But it's probably a good start. I just think that, like, you can incredibly build up. Well, that's saying something about society. Yeah, I mean, look, Gun Tank just, look, I understand why certain model kits are more popular than others, and certain, series and Gundams. The on, not ongoing, the eternal. That's what I wanted to say. The eternal issue, in all Gundam fandom is that Gundams look very cool and are very cool and also are tools of genocide and are awful. And at best are still the implements of murderers. Best case scenario, they are bad people that get murdered, but they still are the work of murderers and terrorists and freedom fighters and uh, good armies and bad armies and evil folks, and that is a thing that we must constantly reckon with. Yes, cool but deadly, edgy as fuck. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing we just have to like recognize and realize as we enjoy uh, them, and remember that they are tools. They are cool tools that are used in some very bad ways. I mean, when they didn't have enough mobile suits, they put guns on the ball, which was used for construction, and they just strapped on big guns onto it, and they were like, "Okay, now this is a weapon." You're like, "Ugh, yikes! All right." Uh, Now I have the cool tools commercial. I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sorry. I know what you're talking about, and I'm going to keep talking so that because if I pause, it might end up in my head, and I don't want that for me. I apologize for you, but I got to look out for number one. And in this one particular instance, I'm number one. I'm going to retweet my tweet. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think I'm going to reply to my tweet. I love that y'all are here tonight. I appreciate that so much. But I like it when people watch the stream. Quiet night. Feel free to pop into chats. So thank you for the folks that are here tonight. Thursday was also light, which is kind of why I'm like, I wish a few more folks would join us here. But that's okay. As I said, if it is a light night, it's a light night, and that's just what it's going to be. I do enjoy when people are here and hanging out, and so yeah, I do appreciate y'all being here for some model kitten. Also, because we're going to work on a very cool kit. When I liked this Lego set. I think it was fun. But I'm very excited about the NT-1 because it's got just ridiculous armor. It's already a cool looking kit with good weapons, good coloring there. It's a fine kit, but it's also got the Chobam armor. Look at that. It's got this cool armor, and it's got a frame that goes around it. The armor interior walls. This is just like I saw a reviewer said, I wish I had two of these because I'd love to have one with all the other armor and one without. And it's like, that's a great endorsement. Uh, okay, so Zero. Uh, it's terrifying for the Lebanese folks, and my heart goes out to them. I do have friends that have family in Lebanon, and so I'm certainly concerned for them, for those family members. They were already facing a famine that was made certainly worse by COVID, which has uh, wrecked their economy and made that worse. And now losing, besides the human toll and the financial issues and housing and all of those other things that come along with something like that, uh, they lost their port, and that's a huge issue for them. As if and when they can make any attempts to rebound their economy. Um, there's some other things going on, but yeah, yeah. So uh, many people were hurt and killed in it, and that's awful. And they were all. It just when it rains, it pours, and so yeah, my heart goes out to them. Uh, it is definitely a very rough time. But yeah, I have a few friends that are Lebanese. They are Lebanese Americans, and yeah, I'm certainly worried for their family. Yeah, no, it was. Uh, It was a thing that, like, yeah, it was just an awful thing that no one was expecting and no one seemed prepared for. I don't have all the information on it. I don't, I have been paying attention to it, but I don't, I wouldn't consider myself particularly well read on the subject. But I do try to keep track of what's going on in the world as best I can, especially when there are things like that. Uh, but yeah, you know. Well, Bobby, my issues with WWE Raw Underground, I have a few issues with it. Uh, Now, while the Independent Wrestling League Chikara is no longer an entity, and Mike Quackenbush is reportedly from outside and inside not a great person. Um, he was not alone in creating the Crucible. Yes, he is not alone in creating the Crucible, which including Action Arcade, which was Chikara's YouTube series they made, which started out as a 30-minute pilot for the WWE Network, which apparently which eventually they made into Action Arcade as a way to use the material that they had. But it was pitched as an ongoing show, was the Crucible storyline, which was basically the idea was that um, it was like the dark saviors of Chikara. It was teachers in Chikara are training people, like certain people to push themselves to their limits, to defend from within, and then they felt they weren't being heard. So now they're turning on Chikara, and the Crucible itself was a Fight Club thing, and you can see how it was shot and edited, and you could see a lot of parallels between that storyline and Raw Underground. The element that isn't there about Raw Underground that was in the Crucible is they're just using it as a way to make it look different and present differently instead of it being a major storyline. Um, in some ways, that's what the Retribution faction is. So it's like the Crucible got split into two things that are happening simultaneously. And it's a fucking bummer for all the people that worked on it and worked with it, that were like seeing this thing being presented, and they had to think to themselves, am I imagining things? Is this really happening? Which is awful for them. Um, Shane is kind of bad. Yeah, Shane shouldn't be the authority figure of this thing, because it doesn't feel like it doesn't make any sense. We last saw him as a heel get fired by Kevin Owens off the as a authority figure, and then he's back and he's presenting this weird thing. I don't know why. Uh, yeah, yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I think that you can present some wrestlers and you can present them performing in a different style, a different way. I think that that's interesting to present people, to give folks. There might be even room for folks that don't really have anything going on the brands. Because you can pull in NXT people as a way and introduce NXT people. You can pull in people who are just there to enhance, but might have some other way to go. But it doesn't move the needle for me. Wrestling as a whole doesn't really move the needle for me these days. I'm definitely on the outs with wrestling in general. Um, I think New Japan is the only company handling the pandemic properly, uh, and in general, like that sucks to say, because one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, a genuine great person who is now doing very cool things, is having the best year of his professional wrestling career, and that's Orange Cassidy. And so I will watch Orange Cassidy stuff, but in general, it's just a bummer. Like, wrestling is a fucking bummer right now. So that's a rough time. Uh, Yeah, it's not, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with all this. All right, so we're building, I guess, the backpack, complete with rockets, I guess, for the back of this robot. And then I think all that's left is we got to build the head for our robo friend here. Haven't put a head together yet. We're getting there. Uh, I'm happy that New Japan and I think Stardom are going to be going back. Yeah, it's good for Japan. Yeah, and the way they've been handling things with wrestlers cutting PSAs and promos about social distancing and uh, okay, um, practicing social distancing and trying to safe and cleaning the ring and doing all the stuff they need to do. I think all of that is awesome, and I applaud the work that New Japan has been doing. And I mean, that's just the country is going further along with it, and they've had some flare-ups and they've had some not great stuff happen as well. But it seems for the most part they're trying to figure that stuff out and kind of went the right way. Um, I know there's some independent wrestling. So I am. I'm in the South right now, so I'm not ready for it to be G1 time again. Well, yeah, that's just time has no meaning. Lashbrook. It's August. What? Why? How is it August? So I am not in a great spot of the country right now. I am in South Carolina. Um, we the county that I'm in uh, is not in full-fledged opening, but they have their social distancing is not particularly great. Their mask use is better, but there's still a lot of outdoor seating. There's a lot of outdoor seating. My dad does it every Sunday, and I am against it. Uh, but he and a buddy of his go and eat every Sunday, and I think that is I do not approve of that, but can't tell him not to do it. I just think it's a bad choice. Yeah, Mid South I think is running live shows. Yeah, so some places are running things, like New York State was doing for a little while anyway, was doing like outdoor shows where you stay in your car or limited outdoor seating. I think we're going to start seeing more of that. Outdoor stuff this summer, and I know that some places are doing like just nonsense. So I have not run into people that do not want to put masks on and make a big fuss about it. I will also say that I don't get out much because I am in the suburbs right now. So I don't really see people, which is pretty great. So like I'll go to a store and help out with, I'll go get groceries or go get a card for something and or go to the post office or the bank or something like that. And then there are people out and about, and some people are wearing masks and some people aren't. One of my favorite things is to see one person wearing a mask and one person not wearing a mask, which is what y'all are together, and that how does that compromise work? Well, I'm gonna wear one. Well, I'm not. Well, I guess that's it. And it's like, okay, nobody won that one, But yeah, I'm trying to keep myself isolated whenever possible, or at least do things safely. I got masks and all that. As I said earlier in the stream, I am going to go and help some a neighbor move some furniture stuff, and I'm going to attempt to socially distance. But at the very least, I'm wearing a mask the whole time, and I'm not going to take any guff about it, because I'll say this. When I left New York and came here to South Carolina, I did not have to quarantine. I left New York City, which had a lot of problems, especially in the beginning, and came here, don't have to do anything. And I was like, I should probably have to quarantine immediately, but okay. I guess I didn't. Suburb Bros Unite. The only people I see online unless I go to pick up my groceries. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I see my parents all the time because I'm staying with them right now. But yeah, it is tough. I also, like, yeah, I'm trying to like do my best to just like it's like, okay, I'm going out, remind people about things, play it safe, trying not to go out. I am actively looking for work right now. I'm primarily trying to do things that I can do here in the house online. That's hard now, but I'm trying to do more of that. Or I am looking for places that I'm qualified to work in that hopefully are going to enforce all kinds of things and keep people safe, including myself. So I have been looking for work like that, and you know, uh, I gotta at some point earn a living and start getting money together so that I can eventually move back to New York, but would not be able to do that now. So, and the final step of this robot is, oh yeah, we built a robot. Look at that robot. This is a tiny little robot. We got a bunch of pieces left over here. I'm going to push all this here. We got, this is like the smallest of the three things that we worked on. So we ended up with a bunch of parts left. Oh, Bobby just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I didn't hear it, but I saw it there. Let's throw the Bear Cave leg of the Scythe emote in the chat and thank Bobby for that subscription. Appreciate that so much. Thank you for using your Twitch Prime. Enjoy your cool emotes. That's awesome. And oh yeah, we'll get the Lego emote in there. But yeah, I'm going to take a photo of this because we finished it up, and then we will... Yeah. But thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Folks, you don't have to subscribe, but if you want to, it's rad, and I always appreciate it. Okay, so we finished the robot here, so I'm going to take a photo of this robot, and then I'm going to clear things off, and then we're going to work on our next thing. So let me get this photo here. I'm going to put all this over there. Shove all these Lego aside. Get out of here, Lego. I don't need you. Take a photo of this. We've got to take a photo. And the Lego robot is done. Yeah, Lego robot. That's a cute little thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the 3-in-1s is almost every piece was used in the plane. Not a lot of stuff was used in the third one, which I'm okay with. End up with a lot of extra pieces. I'll probably... in my own time, make the plane again. Because why not? 300% are working from home, which means I never get to leave work, and you help make things feel normal again. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you to say. I'm trying my best. Especially in times where things are weird, like they are now, and a lot of people are home, and they're... there wasn't a lot of new stuff. Like, yeah, sports are coming back. So I'm happy for folks that want to, that's a thing that they're into. For me, it was anime is back after that. So that's great for me, like having entertainment. But also, I've done my best, and we're going to knock on wall or wood. I haven't had to adjust any times for my streams since I got here. Still been doing Monday, Thursday, and Saturday build streams, and then a bonus stream. I guess a couple of my bonus streams have been on Tuesday instead of Wednesday because things have come up. But I think from now on, if something's happening on a Wednesday and it contradicts with my 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. or 9 p.m. to question mark bonus streams, I'm just not going to do a bonus stream that week because... Tuesday night just doesn't seem good for that. So, yeah, so we're going to make our big friend here, and then we're going to put even more armor on our big friend. But first, we got to get our tiny little friend here. I don't know a whole lot about this kit. I promise I will do more research on the RX-78 NT-1, aka the Gundam NT-1. This is version 2 of the kit itself. But yeah, I'll do a little more research on what this is. I usually go and check the Gundam wiki for things, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Um, I will say that some parts of this master grade. So this is the master grade. Yeah, so this is the master grade. It is the 1/100 scale master grade. But I will say a few of these parts, I think because it has so much armor and it's still going to be a master grade price. Like some of these parts feel a little high grady. In that, like if you look at how much of this is just one piece, this chest piece here is just one big piece. That feels a little high gradish to me. Um, but I haven't seen it. It's just because I think they just, they put a lot of detail in other things. So they are, uh, some of the stuff seems like they're just like, oh, we'll just make this one big unit, this one big piece here. And I don't know if there's anything necessarily wrong with that because I haven't built it yet. Got a cockpit. But yeah, I am excited to work on this. A thing I was excited about, y'all, I want to talk about it now, was grilling. Oh boy, it was fun to grill yesterday. Grilling was fun yesterday. Steaks. Have you seen any horror anime you would recommend? Hey, well, hello, ANG. Welcome, welcome. So, horror is not a genre that I particularly enjoy in anime or live action, movies, books, that kind of thing. Horror has never been something. So the closest I get to is psychological. So there is a series called Another. It's just called Another. Um, but if you look Another anime, you'll find it. It's on Crunchyroll. I don't know if it's anywhere else. I know it's on Crunchyroll. That is a psychological show. It is creepy, it is weird, and then bad things happen, and it is interesting. I think I've mentioned that. I've talked about it before because it is a show that I enjoy the elements of. But that is kind of it for me as far as uh, what is? Oh, let me look up the name of the other one that is people really like. Because there's an anime that is a spin-off of one that people really like. So let me just look up more information about this. What is this thing? Shoot, don't know the name of this thing. I forget the name of it. Sorry. Um, but yeah, horror is not really my forte, so I unfortunately can't give you a lot of information about that. Trying to think. Future Diary is really messed up. I don't think it's great, but I do think it's kind of interesting. Um, but I'd never finished it. Okay, cool, thanks. I'm a big horror fan, but it's hard finding horror anime. Yeah, I mean, like, most of the stuff that has horror that has elements of monsters are generally action shows, like Hellsing. Like, Hellsing's got monsters and messed up stuff, but it's not. It's definitely not like a horror. It's got horror, but it's a horror action. So, I mean, I would say the last Hellsing, the OVA Hellsing, was pretty interesting. Uh, and sometimes you just want to see a big old vampire murder a bunch of Nazis. Sometimes you just want that. You just like that, and you think that's very good to watch. Um, let's see. All right, so we got to get this together here. Uh, Yeah, you'll have more luck finding horror in Hellsing is fucking great. Yeah, you'll have more luck finding horror in manga than anime. Yeah, but yeah, for like I said, for me, it's just not a genre that I keep up with because it's not. I don't necessarily love that style of stuff. Uh, yeah. Um, let's see. Yeah, just like that's yeah. I'm trying to think of more action stuff that has monsters in it that might be more up to your more something I can recommend, but it's not coming to me because, like I said, uh, like like a paranoia agent is a psychological thing, and a messed up weird anime that I do recommend, but like that's pushing it for me. That was a thing where I was like, "Ooh, this is very good. Ooh, I don't want to watch the Um, but most of them are just like High School of the Dead, where it's like it's a zombie story that's just so horny. Oh boy, that show is so horny. Uh, I remember telling a friend about the show and then going about my life because uh, it wasn't interesting to me. And then she was like, "Are you watching this show?" And I was like, "Oh no, I didn't watch it." And she was like, "Oh, cause hey, what the hell did you recommend to me?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know." I know I can at least ask her some good slice of life recommendations. Yes. Well, yeah. Um, it's weird. This year is all over the place, right? And things got postponed, but it's been very light on slice of life. There's only one slice of life this season, and it's because there was a pause because of the lockdown in Japan coming later, uh, and that is Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. And that was, we got a couple episodes, and now it's back, and we're getting new episodes. But that is the only slice of life, and it is not a chill slice of life, really. Uh, it's a fun one, but yeah, we didn't really get much. And then last season, we had the comedy slice of life, Kakushigoto, which is really good, but also not chill. Just yeah, we're not getting chill anime right now. A lot of action stuff. I think a lot of times you get that in the fall, but with shows being postponed, this fall is going to be action heavy. October stuff is going to start up, and there's a lot of action stuff. There's some action comedy, because there's one about like I woke up a deity. There's something about like a young girl that is suddenly basically God. And so it's a comedy, but it is still the kind of like supernatural thing. And there are a few more. I mean, we're getting good action stuff because we're gonna get that Inuyasha spinoff. Oh boy, oh I can't wait for that. That's gonna be so fun. Setsumaru's two twin daughters, uh, and Kagome's daughter. That's and she uses a sword and a bow. I love it. Love that shit. That's such that. It's just 100% my jam, and I can't wait for it. Uh, Honda-san is one of the most clutch recommendations I've ever gotten from you. I love that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Skullface bookseller Honda-san is absolutely one of the best shows. Like, just a great, weird premise done so well. And then when you realize that it's autobiographical, that is such a pleasant, wonderfully weird surprise to find out. Because you're like, oh, the guy that made this definitely worked there. What if Bo shot the sword? Lashbrook, that's an interesting thing, and I wouldn't necessarily put it past them. Maybe she starts shooting uh, sword arrows. Like, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I don't know if it does, but I'm not saying it doesn't. All right, this is an interesting mechanic. So we're gonna put this in, and then we're gonna twist it to lock it in place, basically. So we gotta line it up, and then we're gonna twist it to lock it, which is interesting. And then that goes on. Beware the tip. Yeah, we'll beware that tip. All right, we'll put it in there, and then we got to do the other side of it. Let's do the other side. Um, Yeah, I mean, so last year, the end of last year, the best slice of life towards the end of last year was um, After School Dice Club. There's not a lot of dice in it, which is about some young ladies that just get really into uh, like board games and tabletop games and the history of it, and it's like their interpersonal lives, and it is a lovely show. Uh, that's a lovely little series. So After School Dice Club is really good. Beginning of this year, we got Room Camp, which is the spin-off of what the Laid Back Camp. Yeah, Laid Back Camp. I don't know. My brain just decided that it was tired. Laid Back Camp spin-off. And it's a like little mini episodes, and it's a short little thing. There's nothing major to it, but it was very cute. Um, that was a fun one. And then yeah, there's just not a lot of slice of life these days, which is a shame because it is a great genre. All right, so we gotta put this like this. Go. One thing I've been having some issues with is I want to watch some Chinese animation because I see like clips. You know me. I watch anime clips on YouTube looking for stuff, looking for hidden gems, things I didn't know about. That's why I watched Noblest this week because I knew that it was an early attempt. There was an OVA that was on Crunchyroll, an early attempt of getting a webtoon show out. So I watched that to kind of like gauge that. Uh, but I want to see some different stuff. I want to find out things, and I keep seeing clips or things. Right now, if you want to watch anything Chinese legally, the only thing you can do is um, uh, is it King of Avatars or Avatar King? I think Avatar King. King's Avatar. I think King's Avatar is the name of it. That is the name of the show. I'm going to look it up though. Uh, the King's Avatar is the only thing, and you can watch that on YouTube. And that is the subtitles are good. They're not great, but they're good, and that's legally from the company that made it. Uh, and I think that's it as far as that goes. Like nobody has any licensing deals with them for any of the shows. Uh, oh, Adjective Noun Gaming wants me to hit that gong. Folks, if you're new to the stream, I have a gong. It's a decorative gong that I got. My former roommate, left this, and I took it with me all the way to South Carolina, and I will hit the gong. Harold China doesn't care, but they make some interesting anime that I want to watch. Because they're even doing like they're doing a bunch of cool stuff, and they're definitely like learning from the shows they worked on, working on Japanese shows. They're definitely like learning from that, and I want to engage with more of them, but I am unable to do so legally, and I would like to. I'd like to see what they're up to, what they're making, but that is a hard thing to do. All right, so then we're going to lock it in place with E. We will be taking a pause for the calls in a moment or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the stream if you're so inclined. We'll do that fast, and then we'll get into some anime that came out in the past 2 days that I watched. Some of which was very good, some of which was just okay. But we'll get to that as we go. But yeah, what's through that? Very briefly, steaks on a grill is a good time, and that's really all I got to say about that. Just throwing a couple steaks, getting some charcoal going, throwing on a few steaks, letting time cook them up just perfectly. No need for A1 sauce. No need for anything extra. Little salt, little pepper. Just if your steaks are good enough, you don't need anything. That was lovely, and I was so happy to eat some that, and just I I never had a grill in New York, but I did grill quite often. Um, when people went to parks with each other safely, there would be a few times a year where I would get to be the grill master and and make some fun stuff and cook a lot of food for a lot of people very quickly, and I got pretty dang good at doing that. Uh, so yeah, so it was it's always nice to get out there and do some stuff. Uh, I'm not cooking as much as obviously. Oh, not obviously. I'm not cooking as much as I used to because I am living with my folks, and so uh, I mostly just do my own lunch and then whatever dinner is. Uh, but I will say this. This is an anecdote maybe you'll appreciate. Maybe y'all appreciate. So, it's like, oh, what do you want from the store? And I say, here's the things I like. And, you don't have to do these things, but I do, I'm a snacker. I like snacking and I like chips. So I put in, hey, here are the chips I like. Mom's like, oh, we've never had that or whatever. And there's one bag happens and, I make that last because they're my chips. No problems. A couple of days later, I hear from my dad, those chips are really good. I didn't think they'd be, but they're really good. And I'm just like, oh no, my dad found out he likes my chips, my brand of chips. So now we have to get more of them. But he thought that cheddar and sour cream would be too much. But turns out he's wrong. It's a perfect combination. Cheddar and sour cream is fantastic. And now he knows, and I didn't want him to find out that they're good. Because I want to eat my own chips. It is a good problem to have. He survives on it. I'm not drinking his Mountain Dew because I don't like Mountain Dew. So he's winning there. But I might just start drinking Mountain Dew. If he starts going hard on my chips, then I will retaliate by going hard on drinking his Mountain Dew. Probably not though, because as I said, don't particularly enjoy Mountain Dew. Really got to do is jitter. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, A&G. The best thing would be to have some hell of a good French onion dip, which is my favorite dip that you're going to buy in a store. Because hell of a good is a brand that is out there. It's not all over the place. The first time I said hell of a good, people were like, "Are you making up a name of the thing?" It's like the most New England-ass name. And I was like, I got it in New England and the Mid-Atlantic. I don't know what to tell you. It's a great product. But that's my favorite French onion dip. Hell of a good is absolutely best. Yeah, it's just the best French onion dip there is. But yeah, I mean, that's what you want to dip a cheddar and sour cream chip, especially if you got Ruffles, because the ridges are very good for dipping. I'm not telling you something you don't already know, people, that ridges, the rigidity of a chip without ridges is just great for dipping. You need it. You need it. So, master grades generally, you're not going to find a lot of rubber connectors here, or not plastic, these kind of connectors, the PC connectors here. This is actually pretty unusual for a master grade. You'll find these in high grades a lot. So I was kind of surprised to see this, but that's what I'm saying. There's some parts of this kit that feel a little high gradey. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. It is merely an observation. I remember watching a NASCAR race, the hell of a good sponsored, hearing the pastor giving the invocation say, hell of a good was weird. Yeah, Harold, I bet that was weird. That sounds very strange, yeah. Because it's also not, it's not hella good, it's hell of a good dip. So it's an awkward thing to say. But yeah, if you ever see hell of good French onion dip in your local, in your grocery store or whatever, your friend Pat, recommends it. All right, let's get these two pieces on. Then we got to take a pause for the calls, folks. We got to stop what we're doing and have a couple of minutes where I talk to you about supporting the channel because, I don't take ad breaks during the stream. I don't. I try not to constantly assault you with information throughout, and I try not to be a shill for my own brand, but also at the same time, I do shill for my own brand. I am here to promote me and the continued works of me. And, Pat Baer Industries, just not a real name for anything. Oh, come on. All right, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this right. We're gonna figure this out. Let's push these in. I think that might be part of the problem. Sometimes getting the chest armor around a chest piece just means that you have to kind of figure out what you did wrong. And sometimes you didn't push the pieces in together all the way, which was apparently the case there. I just hadn't pushed them all in together properly. But it's still not perfect. Yep, now we got it. There it goes. That's all it was. Okay, so we're going to take a pause for the cause. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, listen to the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber so that we can encourage folks to do that. If you're new to the channel, this will take a couple minutes. I'm just going to talk about things that ways you can support the channel if you want, which are all optional. If you're not following me here, if you just search for the Gunpla tag or you saw it on my Twitter, consider giving me a follow, turn your notifications on so you know when I go live. You can become a subscriber. You can use Cash Money or your Twitch Prime coin. You can link, like we had with Bobby earlier, you can link your Twitch and Amazon together, gives you access, and then you can become a subscriber, which is a great thing to do. You can also gift subs. You can gift a sub to somebody in chat right now to say, hey, check it out. Now you're a subscriber. Gifting subs is great. Bits and coins. As you can see, there's no one at the top of the gift sub leaderboard, but we got Harold and Dirty in the bits leaderboard there. Again, optional. These are things you can do. You don't have to do them. Always trying to stay above 40 subscribers a month so that I guarantee a payout every month. We are above 40 right now. I do very much appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that does support me in that way. We've got Patreon is another option. I have a Patreon. There are different reward tiers. If you think $5 a month is something you just can't do, and believe me, I get it. I have a Patreon. You could join my Patreon. And you could join the $1 tier or the $3 tier. The plan is by this fall, which is coming up, I am going to also offer Coffee Gold, Ko-Fi. We're just going to call it Coffee. I am going to offer that as an alternative to Patreon because Patreon continually makes it so that it costs you more money, my patrons more money than normal to support me, and also just keeps finding new fees. So eventually I will do Coffee Gold, which is like a minimal amount of money per month in processing fees. But they don't take cuts of other things outside of that. So that is an option I'm going to be looking into. But consider joining my Patreon. I have a thing here for some donations. Right now I just have regular coffee donations. I don't have it set up for gold, so it's not memberships or whatever. But I have coffee and Streamlabs and PayPal. And any money that I get through Twitch, through Patreon, through my direct donations while I'm streaming, it all goes into buying model kits. I need model kits to build. I have this big kit here. I have one on waiting after that. I have another one. But that's the thing. It's not like if I buy Control and then play Control for 2 weeks or whatever. I have to constantly keep buying model kits. Or people that bought PUBG and that they still are playing PUBG, but they bought it once. I unfortunately do not have that option, but I appreciate it if you can help out. Speaking of model kits, and we'll get back to building soon. I do know that sometimes people are like, "Hey, you just talk a lot halfway through." I do have a link here to Amazon for my Amazon wish list. If you buy anything from this wish list, it will come to me in the mail, and then I will build it, and it will jump the queue. Like I said, I have one kit after this ready to go, another kit coming on Monday. But if you buy something on your wish list, that'll be the next thing I build. It always jumps the queue. So I've got some inexpensive little 3-in-1 Lego sets, some more expensive model kits, some high grades, some master grades, some a boat from One Piece, all kinds of different things. Real grades are in there. Some one of the only Dragon Ball kits I've never built is on here, which is Bardock. Bardock isn't that interesting because it's just it's just a different Goku. It's Goku's dad. But I've got that. I've got the figurized Saiyan 4 Vegeta on there. Frieza. I basically and Brawly are the only ones that exist that I haven't built yet because I've built all of the other ones from that line. At the bottom, I have some tools that you could buy that would just help with the stream because sometimes people are like, I don't know what kit to buy, but I'll buy this. And if you want to do that, that's awesome. If you don't want to go through Amazon, which I understand, you could buy something from USA Gundam Store by getting a gift card there. Not buying a kit, buying a gift card. They'll send you a code in your email, and then you can send me that code through DMs on Twitter, because my DMs are open, or whisper here on Twitch, because I check the whispers that people send, which is very rare, and most of the time spam, but I do check them. So if you want to be like, hey, I bought this gift card, use it towards this kit that looks neat. I'll take that under consideration. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, hi YouTube, thanks for watching. I know some of you watch. Consider checking out the show description on this YouTube video to find out what's going on. And then I'll just put this in here. I don't put this in all the time. This is my YouTube. If people are like, oh, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel. Okay, we're going to get through this real quick. I also have a Discord. Join my Discord. It's full of nice people that are very nice. You can join that Discord. I post build photos after every stream. People post stuff that's going on with them. It's very cool. So consider joining that. All right, we got. I got to link some stuff. Every other Monday, I make a video called Pat Bear's Anime Club. This last one I actually recorded like almost 2 weeks ago. Live, and it's got the lowest views of any Pat Bear's Anime Club. Is it because it's 2 hours and a live stream, and people that watch live stream didn't watch it again on YouTube? Probably. But if you want to know about what's going on this summer, I break down everything that I'm watching, and all my recommendations, things I'm looking forward to that haven't come back yet. I do a brief preview of a couple shows that are coming out in the October season. The fall season that I'm interested in. So that's that. And then I have another video series that I do every Wednesday called Baering the List. And I ranked Oreo flavors on this week's Baering the List. Next week's Baering the List will be anime related because it was a suggestion that someone made hey, can you do this list? And I liked that list, so I ranked that list. And that took a while because it was a lot of entries. I won't say what it is, but that's next week. And I'm going to drink a little water, and then we're going to talk about modern anime and get back to building. We're going to talk about anime that came out this week after I have some H2O Aqua. Go here, and then we're going to go to this line here. All right. Excellente. Let's do this thing. Okay, so we're going to get back to building this, and we're going to start working. We're still working on the chest here, but we got a couple more pieces to put on there. Avoid these parts while attaching. Okay, still working on the chest, and then we will keep going. All right, let's talk about anime that came out this weekend. Since the Friday shows, 3 shows that come out on Friday, 1 show that comes out on Saturday. First one is Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out is a romantic comedy series. It's a little slice of lifey. It's mostly a romantic comedy. It follows a a guy with a mean mug. He doesn't have a mean disposition. He just is kind of a loner, but he's got that thing that some anime protagonists have where they look like they are angry and mean, and it makes people not want to approach them. Uh, so Shinichi is that guy. Shinichi has a younger someone that was a kohai to him that he met in high school, and they were in the same swim club, and now they're in the same college, and that's Uzaki Hana. Hana wants to hang out and teases him, and clearly likes him as a person, and maybe more, but definitely as a person. Anyway, we meet Ishihitu, um, who we've seen in the opening animation. He's one of the only characters we hadn't met yet. There's one more character that we see in the opening theme, but we have not met in the series. That is, I think, coming up next episode. Anyway, we meet him. He is Shinichi's friend, and then he meets Hana and finds out that they've been hanging out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna set them up." That is a lot of this episode. Is him like attempting to meddle. There's a whole thing where they're like picking on one another, and then like it's cute, and we just get to see them be cute and fun together, and it's nice. I like it. They're kind of yelly, but clearly into each episode. So it was fun. I wasn't expecting the 7 minutes to go to chocolate mint. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Choco Mint. Don't worry about it. That's coming. That is the slice of life part, because that was kind of irrelevant to their relationship until it wasn't. Anyway, so he tries to rile them up, and then we see Amy, who is Shinichi's coworker at the place that she works at, and she's watching. We didn't know she was watching them. She likes observing their relationship, and they're growing there, and she's mad because she wants their love to bloom naturally and to watch it happen, whereas clearly Ishihito is pushing it, and so they argue back and forth, and he's like trying to like make peace, and they could team up, and she's like, "That's not what we're doing here. Like, you can't force it. You've got to let them figure it out. It's so much sweeter that way. Rewarding, I should say, not sweet." So that's like, I was like, "Oh, this is weird," but okay, sure. And then there's this whole thing where they get ice cream. So Hana and get these like ice cream, like they look like bonbons, right? So they're like bonbons. And Hana freaks out about Choco Mint, and it's this long thing. It's this over-the-top speech about how like mint doesn't taste like toothpaste. Toothpaste tastes like mint, because that was the thing. Like, people have this wrong, and they don't understand how good it is, and the chocolate tempers it, and it's just a little whatever, and it's this whole. She goes in this whole kind of incredible, really silly rant that I really enjoyed, and then it ends with like, she like puts the toothpick into the bonbons because that's how you eat them, and like offers him one, and he accepts it, Shinichi, and he kind of recognizes this is a kind of an indirect kiss, and then she doesn't understand what's wrong, and then she puts one in her mouth and realizes this is definitely like an indirect kiss, and they're both embarrassed about it. And that's where the episode ends, and it was a unexpected, cute end, because a lot of their interactions, the thing about the show is, I think it's very fun and silly. I think she's great. I think he's okay, and I kind of, and like, he's angry that things are frustrating. I think he worries too much about what other people think and doing the right thing. But he's still a good guy, and a lot of times in anime, all kinds of shows, but also in anime, the main dude is usually actually just an asshole, and he's not an asshole. So I think that's great, because usually just like, hey dude, just fucking be a better guy. Like, what are we doing here? And I don't think that about him. I actually think that Shinichi is like a pretty okay dude, which is, as I said, pretty rare in shonen. Where is E? I need E. C, D, F, E. Here's E. Okay. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to see with the next episode and see where they go. But yeah, like I said, my big problem with that show is this: that there's some stuff in it that is very cliche. Like she got stuck in a bush. Oh, and then he saw her underwear, and then she's like saying things that actually like could be misconstrued and seem unimportant, whatever. And sometimes the way she talks to him, it's like they're a couple, and people are thinking that they're a couple, and they misunderstand. And there's some stuff that's just very trite. But some of it I think is genuinely really fun. And when they're together and like having a good time, I think it's genuinely just like a nice show. Um, so anyway, that's Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. What's next on me talking about shows? Food Wars. If you've been watching my Saturday streams at all lately, then you know that I think that this particular season is not good. I think the first episode that kind of had nothing to do with anything else was okay. The first 1 to 2 episodes. But this arc is bad. It's just flat out not good. I don't care about the tournament. I don't care about any of the villains. The villains just seem just so blah. And like they're trying to be. I've said this before. This is the mangaka is just he's run out of. It just feels like he's run out of cool characters in a show that has some cool characters. But yeah, this is just like okay. So the WGO, the World Gourmet Organization that is running Blue, the bookkeeper who's in charge of this tournament, explains why Noir was invited. She is looking for something truly unique. She's traveled the world and eaten all these dishes and is bored by the culinary world. So that's why she invited these underground chefs, because hopefully someone is going to do something that really turns things around, and she'll be excited about that. And then Akumi, the meat-loving girl, who doesn't wear a lot of clothes a lot of the time, and that's always an odd thing. She shows up. Actually, I have to look at She shows up with information on some of the noir people. We see them doing their noir boring stuff. I literally wrote this down because I knew that I would just forget it because it is forgettable. Okay, so we've got the woman in the military outfit who has a chainsaw, but it's not a chainsaw, it's a carving knife, but she can do a lot of things with it because she has different attachments. Why? No reason other than to be a character. We've got the clown. He has bowls that he puts food in, and then he juggles them as they heat up. Why? No reason. There's the guy who he extracts blood from food and to use the blood properly. And he uses a bunch of needles into hoses into his backpack. I can understand the removing blood part, but not the other part. Why? Don't know. And then there's the rabbit girl. She's got a rabbit head on, and she uses a tiny guillotine to chop her meat. Why? Also, I do not know. And they look all scary, but our heroes are not scared by them at all, and they will most likely defeat them. Because, of course, they will. Our heroes are not phased. They pass the next round. Now they're in the tournament. Someone faces the Chinese girl, and they really try to make her seem cool with, like, explosions and all this stuff. We don't know if they're going to like Soma's dish. We assume that he wins because why wouldn't he? Why would he lose in that round? And then also Nakiri is having to face all of the losers of every round. And it's going to be hard for her to face all of these noir people probably. And we don't know why. She says something like, I won't let her get her way. and we assume that means the bookkeeper. So now I'm going to say my Pat Baer theory. I do not read the manga. I do not know. But the opening song has a thing where we don't see her mom, and we haven't ever. But they've never talked about her being deceased or anything. So my assumption is this is the World Gourmet Organization bookkeeper is not Gary's mom. That's my guess. Arena. Yeah. My guess is that's her mom, and she's just doing her thing, and I don't know, and like testing her daughter because she doesn't think her daughter's worthy. She probably doesn't think her daughter's worthy to run the school or care or whatever, but she definitely probably is just giving her extra tests to prove that the god tongue is superior. It's also like, if her mom is alive, then her mom did not help at all when her husband took over the school from her dad, and was, so that's like weird, but I assume they're just not great parents. That's my guess. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that episode. This season is a bummer. I think it ended well last season. It did not need to do this season. It seems superfluous and unnecessary and not great. But I'm going to keep watching because there's not a lot out there. And sooner or later, Megumi's going to have a showdown. And we're going to see my favorite character in the show get to do some cool shit. That has to happen at some point. Oops, I put this on wrong. This has got to go on first. Missed a step. Whoop. I didn't say anything that would make Siri wake up, but Siri woke up. I don't know why. Okay, so Fire Force Season 2. This was the end of the big fight. We all knew, if you're watching the show, we all know Inca was going to side with the evangelist because she is mentally unstable, and her trauma from almost dying in a fire has manifested itself in her wanting to always be on the edge, and the fact that she can see fire coming means that she should theoretically be able to conquer her fears, but she's not allowing herself to conquer her fears and her trauma, so she is instead a bad person. So she chooses to go with them because, of course, she does. She also she kills a person that had helped her before in her crimes to really nail home the idea that she is a bad person. She's a baddie now, and it's like, okay. I mean, yeah, she was going to be a bad person. We knew that. So that's not fun. Anyway, so they don't fight, they don't win this fight. They did save a bunch of people, and that was nice. So we see people are going to figure out, they're going to go investigate where this big fire happened 250 years ago, which was like the big event that happened, which was the Great Cataclysm. So we see that Licht is going to go, and we get to see a scene with Licht and Joker. Now, if you watch Season 1 of Fire Force, you might remember Joker as an interesting character that had shades of gray, that was a villain, but was he a villain? Because as you started to unlock the mysteries of stuff about Fire Force, you started to realize he's against some bullshit that is... it's not bullshit. He's against some stuff that is bullshit. And you're like, wait, why is he the bad guy? There seems to be some other real bad people in this world. So we got to see Joker, which is thing. So basically, 8 people are going to go to China, which is a rare thing, and they're going to go explore the stuff. And the team is 4 members of the 8th. So Licht, Shinra, Arthur, and Maki, who is the girl that has the bad luck and her clothes fall off, aka my least favorite character in the show, and just the biggest fucking bummer of that show. So I wish she was not going. I understand why she is, but I wish she wasn't. Also, the whistle guy from the fourth and the dude that trained with Arthur and Shinra is going, which is the whistle guy seems fine. I kind of like the whistle guy. I'm really worried about the African American character who power manifests in flame tattoos. I'm really worried about that character just being racist. I'm just worried about it being a racist character. I was like trying to think my way around that, but no, I'm very worried that that character is going to be a racist portrayal and be a huge fucking nightmare. Because the show is very bad with women, and I don't know how it's going to be with other races. Outside of Japanese folks. And then also our Chinese friend Juggernaut. Juggernaut reappeared in the last 2 episodes to help out. Juggernaut is a fun character because he is a tall, skinny guy that wears a lot of layers because he is terrified of fire. He has fire powers, but is terrified of it. So he joined the fire force because he figured, well, they're the best people to put out fires. So if I get caught on fire, they will help. But he wears a lot of layers and big outfits so that he can dodge better. So he looks like, the people miss him, which is just it's a fun little bit of business. I like that character. I think that will be interesting. And yeah, so they're going to their continent. This is basically the bulk of this thing. They're going to look into information, and they're going to try to find out more about what happened, and then maybe they'll find another pillar. I'm just gonna assume that at least one of the pillars is a character we already know. I do not know this for certain, but I'm going to assume that one of the characters that we've already met. So it's probably, let's see, I'm gonna guess. Let's see if I'm gonna guess this, because this is just off the top of my head. It is a character we already met, and it is probably someone who is not that powered. So it may be no, it's probably not Lisa, because she would have manifested that. I don't know. It's going to be a minor character from the series we've already met who turns out to be way more important than we would have ever thought. Because that's a way to go. So, yeah. While they're busy going and exploring, turns out it's just in their own backyard. That's my guess. Anyway, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite shows this season. It's nonsense, but I love it. The Misfit of Demon King Academy. So this one starts cute and then gets a little weird. Basically, they throw a party because the last episode, Team Anos won and it was fun. And then Misa, who is apparently she's part spirit and part human. She is connected to the Great Spirit, the Great Water Spirit, apparently, and so she's got she might be able to manifest her powers and be a big deal. And so Ano says, you're on the team now. So now the team is him and 3 ladies. Right now, Ray is not part of the team. The swordsman, who is a reincarnation, most likely he is the reincarnation of either. They're trying to set it up that he's a reincarnation of one of his most powerful companions, but he might also be the great swordsman, the great hero. We don't know. Also, this is not an anime review thing of what happened in this episode, but it is a thing that I felt the need to talk about. In this episode, he is called Lay, L-A-Y. In the last episode, he was called Ray, R-A-Y. Now, is this somebody didn't notice in the quick translation that was sent, and maybe they used somebody who hasn't done this show and or didn't do last week and didn't realize. Totally possible. Is it that on further inspection they decided it made more sense for him to be Lei instead of Ray? That's also totally possible. But it does exist, and it did happen that he has had two different ways to say his name last episode into this episode, and that's weird. And you'd think there would be a character Bible for the folks doing the translation and subtitling. Apparently, I don't know. So that was weird. It was very strange. But anyway, Ray not ready to join up yet. They're going to get a rematch most likely. Apparently, demon spirit hybrids aren't meant to last that long, so Misha is kind of lucky. Another thing that's happening, so obviously this is an overpowered main character, right? He's completely overpowered. He's totally like strong and nonsensically strong, and we've already proven this. Yes, he's a hybrid, which everyone says, well, they're hybrids and not royalty. They are inferior. That is a thing that has been said for, whatever. But he's already proven that he is stronger than royalty, than all royalty. He is definitely demonstrably stronger than all of these people. So when he gets chosen to fight in the sword tournament, and people were like, what? It's like, yeah, of course he is. He's great at sword fighting. He beat the strongest swordsman in the school with a stick. He didn't have a sword. Anyway, they realized this is probably a trap, some way to trap him to make him look less powerful, or to take care of him, whatever. It's probably a trap. So he's like, I'm probably not going to do this thing. But he doesn't want to compete in the tournament, but his parents want him to compete. And his mom is like, my son can do it. He is strong enough. And then apparently his dad forged this sword, this magical sword for him to use because he doesn't have a sword to use. And so he forged this one, and it's because they care so much that he's like, all right, well, I'm going to do it. What do I care about these traps? So he's going to go and do it. We see that Ray is kind of like depressed and isn't really feeling himself because his mom is in the hospital with a disease. And Anos does say, I'll heal your mom. And I don't know why he doesn't take him up on it, but he's like, I'll keep that in mind or something. And I was like, yeah, dude, maybe you should just have him heal her. Sounds pretty good. Ask him out. Ask him about it. There's also a lovely little thing where Misha makes a meal with Anos' mom because she wants to thank him, and then they go shopping, and we find out about the magic models, and of course he makes an incredible one, and then he turns it into a ring for Misha because I don't know why. But that's pretty cool. Maybe it'll become important later. Maybe it's only important now. But that was neat and cute. And then, the other thing that happened, was there anything? Oh yes, so Melheis is another demon lord, but he claims to remember Anos. He's like, I don't have memories, but I can feel your presence. I know that my memories were erased, and I escaped before they could kill me and do anything to my source. So he's like, even though I don't have my memories, I know that something was wrong, and I know that, now I know for sure you are who you say you are. So now he's going to help out. So now he's got 2 of the 8 helping him out. But it turns out the Unitarians we thought was his doing. It's not his doing. Someone else is pulling the strings. Is it somebody else that knows, the truth? Or is it the person who has changed history and people's, whatever, like basically took over the kingdom? I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, we're going to get some sword fighting. It's going to be cool. I mean, he's going to win. It's not a problem. Okay, so I have the option here of doing the broken crown or the regular crown. I'm going to do the regular one so that I don't see tweets of people going, oh, did you break that? So I'm just going to do the one that works, and we'll save the broken one in case I want to replace that. The on-purpose broken one. Mainly, I just don't want to hear about it on Twitter. But yeah, so this one, it wasn't as action-packed as some of the other things. This was more plot-focused, and I like that there's more stuff going on with Rey. I think that's interesting. You know, it's not just a character that is just kind of like immediately on board and immediately another disciple, that they're playing with it and seeing what's going on. But yeah, you know, he talks about Misha's creation magic and how like that's a thing he can't do, and how like he's encouraging. He's just he's just doing good things. We're gonna work on the arms here. Death Beats is raiding with a party of 5. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate that so much. Welcome everybody to the Build with Baer Workshop. We are working on the Gundam NT-1. This is version 2 of this model kit. We just started it tonight. Happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. We worked on a Lego set earlier tonight, and then we are working on this kit here. This kit is great because not only is it a cool-looking model kit on its own, but it also comes with armor that goes over it that really, like, we got all these big, giant pieces to put on it later. And also a framework to go around it. It's got a lot going on. This is a cool looking kit that I have been interested in a while and finally pulled the trigger on. It was on sale on Amazon, and I was like, oh, well, that's a good price. Yes, it's the Alex. It literally says Alex on the, it does show up. It says Alex on the instruction book like it's like someone wrote, oh, this is for Alex. This is Alex's booklet. No one steal. Alex will miss this booklet. It's weird because it's got this like arm tube. I don't like the arm tubes. I've never liked the arm tubes. It's just I've never enjoyed that part of it. I've never liked the. I've done only a few kits. Yeah, to Alex, enjoy this model kit. I've never super liked the. We got these little crinkle things in here. Whatever. I don't know if we'll get to that, but I've never really loved that. I might do those off stream. Take my time with them because I think it was frustrating when I did it first. But yeah, I will say this kit is the arm tubes don't feel good to build. Yeah, it's never been a thing I like. It's the same thing with beads. When you're dealing with like a lot of beads in a Zaku, I'd rather you just give me the plastic. Yes, it doesn't look as good as wire and a bunch of beads that slot into one another, but they're like not fun. They haven't figured out a way to make those enjoyable to build, in my opinion. But yeah, I forget the last kit we did that had the crinkle tubes. Also, that was one sheet, and we had to cut it, and that wasn't fun. I think these don't require cutting, just scrunching up. They're basically like, hey, take this piece out, and you can make them to add wrinkles. That's kind of neat that it does come with a part that you can use to make them, but I'm like, meh. Yeah, like I said earlier about this kit, it does feel a little bit like it is a. It's got some high grade stuff going on. I think because of all the exterior armor, they took some shortcuts. But some of the chest here went together in pretty big sections, like big pieces, which you don't always find in model kits. I'm not opposed to it, but I was a little surprised by that. And also just the connectors. You don't see connectors like this in a lot of kits, in a lot of master grade kits. So that is a bit unusual. especially for a modern master grade, because this is 2019. So, but yeah, folks that came in with the raid, welcome. I build model kits Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for coming by the stream. And one day a week on a Wednesday, I do something different. This coming Wednesday, I will be playing Hearthstone because I like to do one stream a week that is a bonus. But yeah, I primarily build Gunpla and Lego sets. Sometimes I'll build other things from Bandai, like Dragon Ball action figure model kits, or I've done some One Piece boats. I've done a few things that are different from that, but hey, Jedi, welcome, welcome. Thanks for throwing that emote in there. But yeah, I primarily work in kits like this. I build mostly Gundam, and then yeah, a few things other. We built this little robot. I built this little Lego robot. It was a 3-in-1 kit, and this is the third one, the smallest of the three. So that was a fun little project. Built a plane and then a spaceship, and then the third version was this here. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to keep working on this kit. We'll, of course, do it again on Monday and continue building as we go. 24, 23, 21. Okay. Then we need G20 and G21. Okay. If anybody's got any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything they want to chat about, this is towards the end of our stream tonight. We will be wrapping up, 10 minutes from now. So if there's anything going on with y'all, anything you're excited about, interested in, I'm excited to continue working on this kit. As I said, had my eye on this kit for a while, and happy to finally have a chance to pick it up and to start putting it together. Okay, so put that there. Like this. And then like this. Yep, that's right. So this goes that way. Okay. I'm moving a couple states over in just 1 week. Well, Jedi, good luck with the move. As somebody that had to make the move myself, it was an odd move. I ended up having because I shipped just like some things and mostly just took a couple suitcases, and now I have a storage unit. So it was an very odd move. It wasn't a traditional move on my end, but yeah, good luck. Busy packing and prepping. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole thing. Like I spent June, basically all of June was me preparing for my move. It was just doing everything I thought I needed to do to be ready for it. Because the alternative was to just like not have things ready. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have things ready. All right, so we got one of these done. So now let's work on the other part here. We're just doing pieces that are identical so we can do them at the same time, which is very helpful. And getting rid of a bunch of my furniture. Yeah, that was the thing. Also, like my roommate had moved out previously and left some things, so I also had to deal with his stuff and getting that stuff like ready to go, and that was very annoying because I was just like, now I got this other junk that's not my junk, and I got to put a mattress out and whatever, and I ended up keeping his desk, which was nice. But yeah, getting rid of furniture, getting rid of paring down clothes, and of course all the model kit stuff that had to be kind of sorted out. I sent 3 giant boxes. It's bad enough just dealing with your own stuff. Yeah, he didn't leave a lot of stuff, but like I don't know. I ended up keeping his bookshelf too because it was easy to break down, and I'll use that when I move. So I was like, sure, that'll work out. But yeah, it wasn't easy. I sent so much Lego out to a place that cleans it and donates it to kids that was a lot of Lego that I had to send out. I also have way too many Lego sets. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so basically I kept some model kits, sent a few model kits to friends, and then did get rid of quite a few things because I just had so many over the years. Uh, I lived in the current place for 9 years. Yes, I lived in my apartment for like 12, so it was a lot. And there were a few things that I like put out on the curb that like looking back on it, I'm like, I'm gonna miss some of that stuff. Uh, my very good bed because I decided instead to keep my day bed because wherever I end up, having it be a couch might be helpful because I'm sure I'm going to be in a small spot when I move back. So I was like, well, I think it would make more sense for me to end up with uh, like just keeping this thing, keeping my day bed. It's good. It's got a good mattress. It's got an unusually good mattress for a day bed. So I was like, I'll just keep that and get rid of my very big giant bed. That is a good motivator. Thank you, Roll Hard Sixes, for the follow. Also, Gnarly Quinn, you gave me a follow before, and I think I missed that, so I apologize. Welcome. Thank you for giving me a follow. As I said, I do model kit building on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. I keep to that schedule. I rarely deviate from it, and if I do deviate from it, I try to give plenty of notice. You're keeping your couch? Yes. Yeah. If it's nice, then yeah, that's good to keep. Looking at replacing soon. Good motivator. Yeah, that is. You know what? That is a good motivator, right? So like a thing I'm gonna have to buy when I move is when I move back to New York eventually. A thing I'm gonna have to get is a new chair because my desk chair was on its last legs and I threw it away, and so I will not have one when I move again. Uh, so it's like okay, that's a good motivator to do that and get those things going, take care of business. But yeah, there are a few things that I was like, oh, I don't like parting with this. I gave up and gave to a friend the kitchen table that was my parents' kitchen table for many years, and they replaced it, and I ended up taking it with me when I moved to New York. When I ended up in an apartment with that had room for such things, uh, and so I was like, well, I gave that to a friend. I was like, this feels right. Okay, so all right, we gotta attach these pieces, and we gotta do it right. So this is gonna, we should be able to say that this goes here, and then this looks like that. Then they want me to put this in that way first. There's some stuff in here that seems kind of newish to me. I mean, obviously this kit came out last year, so it is pretty new. But there's a few parts to this that I'm pleasantly surprised about. Looks pretty cool. Yeah. So I said tomorrow I am going to be helping a neighbor, friends with my parents. I'm going to help them with moving some furniture. So that's going to be some good labor. Get some labor in tomorrow. Feeling good about that. Being able to help with that. Oh, there it goes. I had the piece on upside down. And then, yeah. Monday I'll be back to streaming. Trying to find stuff to be able to chat with you all about. I apologize that I have been. Oh, I'll give you a recommendation. Here, this is a weird thing to say. I'm going to recommend a podcast. I know some of you still listen to podcasts, even though maybe you work from home, but maybe you don't work from home. Maybe you're out and about and doing stuff, and you could use a new thing to listen to. Maybe the podcast you listen to aren't updating right now. Anime in America is a Crunchyroll produced podcast. It is a short series podcast. It is very well edited, and so far has been very informative. Some of it was produced last year. In fact, the last full episode was about conventions, and it ended on a positive note about conventions, and so they did a follow-up, like a episode 3.3, where they were like, okay, we got to talk about digital conventions because we finished this before everything became what it is, which I think is like a very interesting thing to. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for the pieces on here. N. Nope. Where is N? Here's N. Found N. So anyway, it's hosted by Yodoya Travis, who you might know from Getting the Robot, which was a Channel Federator show dedicated to anime that Yodoya was on. He's a very great host. He's a stand-up comedian, and you can really feel that he's like a very good podcast host. It's interview style, but you don't hear the questions. You mostly just get the responses. It's like people talking about things, and then you hear from him. So it is a well-produced podcast. It's not a free-form thing, but you might be interested in that. So I'll give you that recommendation. That is a pretty cool podcast to check out that I would recommend. I am going to assemble these components, and then we will call the stream and we will raid, because that's what we do at the end of every stream, is we go and give a raid to somebody that usually at this time of night it is somebody playing games. I don't know if Kate Stark is still streaming, but if she is, we'll go raid her because she's been doing community day. So she's been playing a lot of games with people in her community, which is really fun. She's playing that Marbles on Stream game. That's like really weird, but basically it was like somebody made a game based on the like marble races, but it is all like you don't control anything. You just watch them happen, and they're like, it is very weird. It's a very strange thing, but there's like physics and it's all fantastical things. I was watching that today. That was really weird. But yeah, if Kate is streaming, we'll go raid her because she's been doing fun activities with people, and that's been nice. But if she's not, we'll find somebody else to go and hang out with, because that's what we do here, is we go and give raids. All right, so we got plenty of ARM components left here. This is the majority of what we got done. And we will go and... Kate is not streaming. Okay, she wrapped up. Thank you for letting me know, Harold. I would have checked that out anyway. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the stream, so I'm going to go find somebody for us to go and raid. Oh yeah. But yeah, that was a fun stream. Kate rules. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be somebody that we think is awesome who is streaming, and we can go and give a raid to. And okay, let's see who's out there doing their thing. Let's see that we can go and raid. All right, we are gonna go raid a stand-up comedian and TV presenter, who you may know, but is a solid dude that I've known for many years. Way back in the day in New York, Adam Conover. We're gonna go raid Adam and see what Adam's up to, because Adam rules. So we'll go give Adam a raid. As always, you do not have to come along for the ride, but you're more than welcome to. If you're parting ways with us now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I'll be back again on Monday to keep working on this very fun kit. But right now, we are going to go give Adam a raid, and I'll see you on the next Build with Baer. Bye-bye. Goodbye.